Did you watch it? Did you watch the interview? I hope you did. It was pretty normal. It was a normal interview. Kamala Harris's first big TV interview was most notable for seeming ordinary. Ordinary. Yeah, it's pretty ordinary. I guess, like George, Joe Biden won being ordinary, being normal. And I think that maybe that's the tack, right? Like that's the tactic of it all. Just be normal. It's like, okay, guys, cameras are running. Be normal. And then everyone's like, okay, being Mr. Normal. And then Trump is like, look over here. She's a black person. They're losers. And you're like, I thought we told you all to be normal. We just want normal, please. It's been a tumultuous 10 years. It's been rough, y'all. Let's just be normal. They asked her about how she found out about Joe Biden's retirement. And she said I was cooking bacon, and my nieces were there. My family was there. And when they came, they wanted more bacon. She does that a lot. She does the nods and looks at you. So she talks about bringing bacon. Shout out to the bacon lovers. Am I right? Shout out to the bacon lovers. There's Kamala Harris eating baby piglets. Just eating piglets. Which, Auntie, can we have more bacon? Yes. Feeding her children a type 1 carcinogen. It's type 4. I forget which wave. Is it DEFCON, or is it like, is type 1 the most dangerous, or is it type 4 the most dangerous type of carcinogen? It's the most dangerous. It's the worst kind. It's a known evil thing to feed to children. But she was feeding her kids bacon. Oh God. Shout out to the bacon lovers. I guess that makes her feel normal, and it annoys me, not just because it is a sentient individual who is just being served up as part of a prop to a story, but also that when people claim to care about justice and freedom and those types of things, I don't want to hear about the animals you eat. In fact, you shouldn't be enslaving animals. Don't tell me you care about justice and liberty and all the good stuff if you're going to be killing baby animals and feeding them to your baby nieces. She even said my baby nieces were there and they wanted more. Ugh, it's gross, man. It's gross. But the big thing came about with fracking. Why did you change your position on fracking? And they asked her a couple things like that because people, evolve in their political careers. And I feel like you should just say the Lincoln line. And if you don't know what the Lincoln line, now you know. It's, I feel like a smarter person today, or I hope that I'm a smarter person today than I was yesterday. That's it. That's the answer. Hey, why'd you change your position? Why did you change your position on why did you think it was okay to kill carnivores and start a whole holocaust for carnivores, and then you changed your mind? Well, I'm a smarter person today than I was yesterday. I've reassessed. I think different stuff. I'm thinking that I've evolved as a human a little bit, and hopefully as a politician a little bit. I've served as a vice president. She could have said all those things, but she said my values haven't changed. That's what's remarkable, which is great because I think you're supposed to be voting on people based on their policies and what your perception of their values are. Like, you don't really know how a person's going to be in office, but if you could get a vague idea based on what you think their personality is like and what their values are like, you could start understanding, like, is this person no nonsense rule of the law, or is this person common sense type of ruler? Which one is she? I don't know. Which one do you think she is? I think she's more of like the no nonsense prosecutor than she is like the common sense, let's look at the spirit of the law here But you tell me, what do you think? I think though that the handling of that question, why did you change your mind? I'm smarter today. That's the only answer. If someone ever asks you why you changed your mind, like why did you go vegan, you could say, "Well, I'm smarter today than I was yesterday." That's all. I hope that it keeps going like that. I hope that every day I get a little bit smarter. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not probably some days are going to be a wash, they're going to suck, but some days are going to be great. You're going to love them and you're going to get smarter. That's what I hope. I hope I'm smarter today than I was yesterday. It's the best line. Abraham Lincoln. He's a good one. He was a good one. Then there was the thing in the where they asked her, "Do you regret lying to the American?" I don't know how they exactly. Do you regret lying to the American people about how strong Joe Biden was? And she says, "No, not at all. I didn't lie. He was strong, and he was. It's like you should be able to handle that question. That's an important question to ask. Like Joe Biden saying sayonara. Why did you always tell people that he was like strong and bold and able to take on the world? Why did you say that? And the answer is, well, like a lot of Americans, we are around an aging population. These people are older than they used to. The life expectancy is different than it used to be. Someone who's 80 doesn't look like someone who was 80 20 years ago. So I would see him on really good days and be really optimistic. I could have been wrong, but I believed at the time that he was the strongest person and most important person to keep in that role in order to defeat Donald Trump. I'm smarter today than I was yesterday. I didn't know everything was going on. I had hope, I had optimism, and he seemed strong to me. I didn't know. I wasn't privy to every little thing. That's how you do it. I don't know if you, as a human being walking on planet Earth, have ever met an old person, but when you meet old people, you're like, oh, they're great, they're fine. And then you hear that grandpa had a bout of dementia while you weren't there and didn't know who he was. And you're like, what? I just saw him. He was great. He was lucid. He had everything together. Yeah, well, as soon as you left, he lost it, shit himself. And you're like, it's confusing with old people. And all of us who are human beings on planet Earth should know this and be, first of all, be ready for it, but also commiserate. Where's your compassion? Like, he's clearly rounding the bend, Mr. Biden. Like, that's what I appeal to people's compassion. Please, what's going on with Joe Biden? He's got a support group around him. He's strong because of the people that he's put in place, and he's always been strong. He's still stronger than just that one bad day. But I always saw him as a strong, independent, wonderful thinker and leader, and I respected him and had nothing but optimism. And I wasn't privy to everything, and I'm a smarter person today than I was yesterday. It's that easy. Walz is light years better at politicking than fake. Jeez, don't say that. Light years better at politicking. Well, I mean, it helps that he's like a white guy who was in the military. He's more like your standard politician, isn't he? He's like, I'm a white man. I was in the military, and I was a soldier and a teacher and a football coach. And it's like, yeah, that's really cool. I don't know that that's what we expect. Like the level of expectation is like exactly that. So I think he gets a lot of points there. Walls also, what a moron. He said this thing where he goes like, they asked him, well, you said you carried weapons of war into combat, or you carried weapons of war into battle. And he's like, well, my mom always says my grammar's wrong. And I'm like, dude, just say you misspoke. Just move on. Just be like, I did say weapons of war. We were talking about war. I was caught up in the moment. I said the wrong thing. My record is really easily accessible. If anyone has any questions about my military record, please ask me or go and look at yourself. It's public. It's public record. That's what I would. I mean, like, I can't believe they're not coaching him on this stuff. Like he's talking about school violence and saying that kids shouldn't have access to weapons of war, which I happen to totally agree with, by the way. And I endorse nobody, and these views are mine alone and not those of any group or organization. I endorse no one. But he should have answered. Come on, man. Like, you want to put the stolen valor shit to bed? He could say, look, I was in for 24 years in uniform. He did say that. I'm a little annoyed that people question that. I misspoke at a rally one time. Look, it won't happen again. But I just kind of misspoke. I wasn't really trying to say that I went into combat. He could have easily said that. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. He's gotten things done. She told immigrants, do not come. She did say that, do not come. Do not come. Yeah, I remember when they like, let's solve the border crisis in one day. I honestly look the border. I love immigrants. I'm a big fan. Immigrants are more patriotic than most Americans. Most people who were born here, that is, and they contribute to our economy. I tell you what, I like immigrants coming here working a lot more than I like Saudi Arabian princes buying up beachfront property in California and New York in order to have investments that nobody lives in. I like them a lot. I like those. I like the foreigners that are coming here to work a lot more than I like the foreigners investing in houses to screw up our entire economy and leave those houses empty so that our homeless population grows and we don't have enough money to move in. No one has enough money to move out of their parents' house and out of their basement. So you get people just playing video games and I don't know, doing debate bro stuff on the internet. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of the immigrant. I'm a fan. I love them. I think they're mostly good people. Like most people actually. Most humans are pretty good. You know, they're just a bit dumb. Most of them are pretty good. Mm. I like humans. What do you? How do you feel about humans? Um, as vice president, what was she going to do? Title 42 was considered was declared by the courts. They couldn't continue. I don't know. I would love to hear new ideas about what we should do about the border. If you think the border is a problem, uh, but I'm from California. I don't have much of a problem with the border. Yeah. Let's see. Trumpty Dumpty is a horrible human. He's pretty bad. He's a pretty horrible guy. Yeah, but today I don't need to talk about Trump because they gave an interview and it was, I guess that the big takeaway was, wow, normal. It was a fluffy interview. The first, as I'm watching, I'm like, this is fluffy AF. And when I did the thumbnail for this video, I thought fluffy AF. But then I was like, actually, no, this is normal AF. This is what I remember political interviews being like. Like, how do you feel? What's the name of your dog? And what kind of how do your kids feel about this? How is he going to quit smoking while he's running for president? Shit like that. Like, it's always fluffy stuff, especially the first interview is always so fluffy. Now, I hope that she does interview because now if she can roll on that momentum and stay in the news being normal, being fairly positive, she could take it because all she's got to do is keep Donald Trump out of the limelight. She wins. So it could be kind of cool. I hope that works. I can't wait till the repubs drag out her plagiarizing MLK's anecdote. I mean, people plagiarize MLK. I don't know the. Do you remember when Melania plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech? Oh my gosh. I mean, if you're going to plagiarize anybody, plagiarize a plagiarizer. MLK himself, of course, was a plagiarizer. Why people don't really call him Dr. King anymore. I don't know if you ever noticed that most people don't call him Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Most people just call him Martin Luther King Jr. because his doctoral thesis was had a lot of plagiarism in it. He wasn't a perfect guy, you know. I liked him though. I think he was a pretty cool guy. I'm inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. Look, if you want normal, this is what it looks like. If you want tumultuous chaos, get the other guy. It's up to you. Which one do you want? Do you want because I wouldn't mind a little chaos if I thought there was someone looking out for the working man. But right now, this is what you get. You get Kamala Harris, who was a hardcore prosecutor in San Francisco. It's funny. I saw this meme today that Donald Trump said that 15 years ago, 15 years ago, San Francisco was a beautiful city, and it's like, she was the she was the DA in 15 years ago in SF. I think that was really funny. Uh, I think she's had a pretty good career. I think she's pretty cool. I think she's just another politician though, and she eats bacon, so I don't endorse her at all. No endorsement from me. And what do you think? I would prefer having somebody out there looking at trying to speak up for the working person. That's what I wish. And she did a little bit of talking about like the cost of living, but I'd rather talk about jobs and yeah, jobs, the job market, and how we're gonna navigate the future. People like Andrew Yang seem to talk about that more, which is why I like him. But if we're not going to talk about what it is for people in this country and how we're going to make their lives better, then what are politicians even for? I didn't hear much of that, which it wasn't really the purpose of this interview. But oh, Bartleby, oh, humanity, I wish I'd seen more. Said it was just a fluff piece. Watch it if you like fluffy. If you like fluffy shit, watch it. Thank you.